Hey guys, it's Mal and Jason from Binge Mode.
We wanted to tell you about the Ringer's upcoming Binge Mode Rewatchables Mashup Live event on Wednesday, January 24th at Largo at the Coronet right here in Los Angeles.
It'll be me, Jason Concepcion, Mallory Rubin, Shay Serrano, and Bill Simmons for a high school football spectacular covering Friday Night Lights and Varsity Blues.
So put on your shoulder pads or your whipped cream bikini.
Let's go, goddammit!
Head to largo-la.com to purchase your tickets now.
Clear eyes.
Clear eyes.
Full hearts.
Full hearts.
Don't snooze.
Buy your tickets now for Wednesday, January 24th at Largo at the Coronet in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. Thrilled to be back. Week 4 with Arie. I think he might only be getting worse, but we will dive into that. And today I am joined by Molly McNearney, the co-head writer of Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Hi.
You have been talked up to me as a huge Bachelor fan, so
yes.
No pressure or anything.
Oh, yeah, God, no.
I know that you guys follow The Bachelor closely on the show as well, so it's like part of the fabric of your professional life as well.
Oh, yes.
Do you have a favorite Bachelor or Bachelorette, like your favorite season?
I really liked Ben a lot.
Do you? Okay.
He was my favorite.
I love Ben.
Yeah.
I have a very open crush on him.
You do? Good.
Yes. I think the only way that I could really describe him for a long time was the emoji that had hearts for eyes.
Yeah.
Because he's so dreamy, right?
Yeah.
And he does that political thing where he like shakes your hand.
Yep.
And he's like, Molly, hello. It's great to meet you.
Mine is less about the physical attraction of him and more about I actually felt like he was very kind to every girl on the show and actually gave a shit about them when they talked.
Totally.
By the way, I do not get that from Arie.
No, definitely not.
Arie is always staring off. Like within he'd be terrible at poker. You know within 3 seconds if he's into the girl or not, just based on where his eyes are.
Yeah, he doesn't even try to fake it.
Nope, he doesn't.
There's been quite a few you're clearly staring at someone's breast moments on this on this season. It's a little uncomfortable. We can't supercut that for a podcast, but if we could, we would.
Yeah.
Because it's like pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm glad to hear you say that, though. I feel like we probably approach the show in the same way then.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm getting out of here.
If I was like, I love Arie, would you even sit through this?
No, I would just to try to change your mind.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Well, let's get into it. The biggest storyline of this week was certainly Bekah.
Ugh.
Finally find out how old Bekah is. And she reveals it to him at the end of, towards the end of their date.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's 22.
Yes.
So he's 14 years older. When was the right time for her to reveal how old she is? Like, should she have already told him? Was this appropriate?
No, I think that's appropriate. I mean, what is that? Was that their first one-on-one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's a totally appropriate time.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't tell a guy your age on a first date.
No, unless they ask or something.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different now because with dating apps, your age is like a huge part of your profile.
I also just assume he can see the lower third on things, but I guess he can't.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that. Do you think that they prep him on who the women are beforehand? Like, does he get a one sheet of?
They must.
I know that they have on the opening night. I don't know if Arie, he probably gets it, but they do have a one sheet of every girl's headshot with her name.
Yeah.
I don't remember their ages on it. I don't think so.
Right.
But how else? I've never really thought about it in The Bachelor before.
Me neither. I feel like age is kind of irrelevant on The Bachelor.
Totally.
I really do. I mean, if you're in the mind frame of wanting to be there, then who really cares how old you are?
Right. Like if you're signing up for this, it indicates a certain way of living.
Yes.
And that's kind of all you need to know.
However, I do think you're crazy to be 22 and want to go on The Bachelor.
Okay. Completely agree. Why do you say that?
Because you've just graduated college. By the way, Bekah is so gorgeous
Beautiful.
And has so much personality.
Yes.
She's the most mature on that show so far, in my opinion.
I agree. I totally agree.
She has actual, real conversations with him. And so to me, her age doesn't matter because she's much more mature. But I question why a 22-year-old, assumes she just graduated college and then wants to do that.
Right. The questions he were asking her are kind of almost like entrapment. Of course she doesn't know if this is it.
No.
But I liked when she was, she's like, stop asking me these questions. I'm not going to give you the answer that you want. There's no way we can know.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, exactly.
I like that she's not playing that game. And I also think that he's totally right. And he should be nervous because she will dump him hard in about 6 months.
Well, he made himself seem really, really unappealing. Let's listen to him talk about how old he seemed.
Things have just slowed down so much for me. I enjoy
waking up with the sun, which I never enjoyed 5 years ago. My fear with you is that you might be where I was, in my 20s.
Yeah.
And that's just like, I think it's a valid fear.
I think it is.
Like, do you like to still go out a lot? And do you still like to, I don't know, I'm just I feel like I've just become a little bit more boring. But only because I like different things.
Arie talks about aging as if he's the only person to ever enter his 30s and have his life change a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like he might not have any other friends that are his age based on how he talks about his life.
Totally.
Do you think he has any friends?
And yet he says the word like he's a 22-year-old.
Yes,
he said
absolutely.
11 times in that one little conversation.
He is brutal. He makes it sound like there's no reason for him to live now that he wakes up with the sun.
Yeah, he wakes up with the sun. I bet that happened one time.
Literally one time.
And he posted it on Instagram.
Probably.
Yeah.
Wanted everyone to know
So
about
proud of it.
Oh, I live in Arizona. There's beautiful sunrises here.
Yeah.
It looked beautiful.
But I think he's freaked out, and he should be. She has a lot going on still for her, and he doesn't.
She's the most captivating person on the show.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
She's also the most sexual, I think, too.
Yeah.
What do you think about the move on The Bachelor in general of the random hot tub placed into a scenic locale?
I love that. Imagine that in real life. If you were on a date with a guy and he just suddenly walked you up to a hot tub you would run away.
It would be the creepiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It would be let's say you wanted to be in a hot tub, find one in a hotel room, or get a night in a hotel room or something. It would be cheaper than putting a hotel.
I would
hot tub in the middle of the woods.
immediately put my hand over the top of my wine glass because I would assume this guy's going to drug me and he's going to put me in this hot tub.
Absolutely. Also, how does that even work? Do you have to plug it in?
I don't know.
Is it gas powered?
I also love how these women always are so appreciative to Arie for what he did.
Right.
Look what he did. This was the best date ever. We got to do all this romantic stuff. He didn't do any of this. Some producer did all this, put it all together, and then he gets to ride the wave of glory.
Absolutely. They make it seem like he's thoughtful, but he looks like the most thoughtless bachelor in quite some time.
I don't like him. I have to say I'm with you on this. I don't like him.
I'm intrigued by the age storyline, though, because it just seems so contrived. I don't think he actually... He did seem a little bent out of shape about I can't believe you're 22. But I just... He made it seem so much a bigger deal than I would expect from Arie and the way he was approaching this in general. He was talking about how he just wants to be sure and how he wasn't and how he's so serious. Let's listen to him talk.
I'm feeling real things for you too. I think maybe you're not ready. And
Why
if
do
you're
you
not,
think that?
just because you're 22 years old.
What does that mean?
I don't know. When I was 22, I was wild.
Am I Arie?
You're not me. I know you're not me. You're incredible. You're the most incredible person that maybe you ever met. My biggest fear is that I just go through all this and I just emotionally invest in you. And then at the end, I'm heartbroken.
He obviously has been into her this whole time.
Yeah.
It just speaks to the fact that he must be so boring that the producers saw what was happening and were like, well, we need to manufacture this or something. It doesn't even seem like the other women dislike her. And usually with someone like that, it seemed like they were pushed to talk about how old she was instead of bringing it themselves.
Yeah, they were like, hey, you two sit over here on this couch and talk to us about Bekah's age.
It really seemed like they were trying to make her seem like a villain out of Fatal Attraction or something like that, with the way that she was swimming in the pool by herself in the beginning. Yeah. And everyone else was just talking about her.
Right.
Which fun.
They just set that shot up. Bekah, we need a single shot of you swimming a lap.
Yeah.
And then your 22-year-old body getting out slowly of the pool.
As slow as possible.
Reminding us you're a child.
Were you surprised he ended up giving her the rose?
No.
I actually
would give her the rose. You were?
I think I just fell for it. But
yeah.
But I was, actually. I was surprised. Although I did like when he was like, let me just have this in my hand. As if he was following the directions or something. He's just a dope.
He's going to, I think he will bring her to the end. I bet she'll be in the top 4.
Interesting.
And then I think he will become incredibly insecure about
how hot she is.
How hot she is and how she could have anyone and how she really needs to spend the next 10 years dating a ton of different dudes.
Tons of them.
Yeah.
Do you think she'd be a good bachelorette?
Yes.
I think the guys would just be all over her.
I think she'd be an excellent bachelorette.
They haven't really picked a woman who's overtly sexual. JoJo, kind of. But her guys sucked so much, and she just was so obviously into Jordan Rogers.
Yeah.
But they haven't really had like a really sexual woman.
Also, she's they all have the exact same haircut on that show except for her. And I know she stands out because she has short hair, but for real, they all have the same length, like mermaid hair.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
They all took a tutorial at the dry bar before going on the show.
Absolutely.
She also dresses a little different, wears her makeup a little different. It's cool. It's refreshing.
I love her.
It's almost like I don't want her to go to Paradise because she's too good for it. I don't want her to get sucked into this world.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty impressive feat that I feel like Bekah is too good for the show when they're trying to make her seem like a young ingenue. It's kind of funny to be rooting for her, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Like not a typical Bachelorette or Bachelor storyline.
No, not at all.
It's interesting. It's like one of the more progressive things this show has done. I hadn't really thought about it until this moment.
Yeah.
But I can't think of like a comp for her of someone who's similar.
No.
It's sort of like when they introduced like hipsters to The Bachelor. Like it's kind of like when Jeff was on Emily's season.
Yeah.
And he was so different.
Yes. That's a good comparison.
That's kind of the only one I can think of.
Yeah. That's just not at all like the others. But you have a weird respect for them.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
I know.
I suddenly have like such respect for this 22-year-old man.
I know. Like, good job, Bekah.
Yeah.
You're really telling Arie, like, put him in his place.
Right. I want her to go toward the end. I want her to dump him. And then I want her to leave the franchise forever.
Yeah. Go on to bigger and
Although I
better
would
things.
like to watch her as a bachelorette, but she's too young.
I know. If you saw Arie on the street, like, how old would you guess he is?
54?
Yeah, he doesn't look 36.
No,
and he also doesn't act it either, though. Like, he acts like more like 32 or like even 28. I can't even put a number on it. He's just juvenile.
He's so boring. Literally, what do we know about Arie? We know that he was a race car driver, that he broke his collarbone, and that his brother got married near a moat. Like, that's literally all we know about him. We learn nothing about him in these conversations.
The way he talked about his brother's wedding, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was incredible. He was like really shook by it.
Yeah.
Like, marriage can be real.
Yeah.
It's like,
They had a moat.
Did that propel him back onto being on this show? He's like, oh, crap, I gotta get going.
Yep. I imagine him that night at the wedding. He gave a toast, and then he just like sulked in a corner somewhere, drank way too much wine, and thought, I need to get back in there. And the way to get back in there for him is a reality show, because it's the only way that people are going to be interested in him.
I do think there's been good editing this season so far. Like, you can tell that it's been a more active edit because
it's about time we give the editors a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has been pretty good, though.
I always imagine these guys like in a, trailer with no sunlight, just editing all this footage.
Doesn't sound fun. They have to travel.
We just want you guys and gals, whoever you are, to know we appreciate you.
Really do appreciate your work. I actually think this week's group date was a triumph of editing. A lot of great moments on that one. Particularly, this was a brutal time for Krystal. People gave her some really bad looks. One of my favorite shots was when they panned in on like 3 girls on the couch, and they were like just so pissed at Krystal for even speaking.
Oh yeah.
I think she was. There was also a lot of women imitating Krystal this week. Let's listen to a few bites of that.
It does annoy me that Krystal had not only had time with him today, but says things like, don't you feel like tonight is a little bit more like, I don't know, like competitive?
Every toast she gives is like to new experiences and love. Okay, we get it. Like, everyone's here for love.
Who was he with? Krystal.
Yeah, they hate her.
They really do.
She's really tough to watch
That
and
seemed
listen
like
to.
Genuine. They didn't seem like imitate Krystal, more like, I need to talk about how much I hate this girl.
She's rough. I mean, I remember the first episode liking her. Well, you know what? They showed her first, when they do the background of these girls, like the first episode. And the first shot they showed was like doing a fitness video on the beach. I was like, ugh, this girl. But then she started talking about her brother, and she cried about the homeless population. And then she won me over. So I was like, oh, you know what? I judged her too soon. And then I went right back.
No, she's maybe the most hateable Bachelor woman in a long time.
She's pretty bad.
Why does she whisper?
I don't know.
Do you like that? It's not hot. It's not working, girl.
It's bad.
I feel like we can see Arie turning on her in real time.
Yeah, she's really condescending too. I hate every time she's with those women on the couch and she like breaks it down for them how they should be feeling and what they're all feeling. Like she's trying to have some kind of group therapy session, and it makes everybody uncomfortable and resent her.
Totally.
She needs to stop doing that.
Yeah, we have a bite of her doing just that.
This process has been, I know, like, talking to a lot of you girls, like, so much harder than I ever thought it could be. Because, you know, we're all here for Arie. It's like choking.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then so in that moment, he walks in on her, like, lecturing the other women.
Yeah, her little TED Talk.
Seriously.
That should have been a red flag for him. She's a girl who only posts like quotes on her like Instagram. Well, besides selfies, I bet she's one of those girls who always is posting inspirational quotes.
What do you think she's going to go with? Diff eyewear, tummy tea? What do you What do you think will be her product of choice on Instagram?
That's a great question. Oh God, I don't know. She's
a tea girl, definitely a tea girl.
She's but I oddly feel sorry for her.
Me too. I started feeling bad for her on this one date. I was like, you're really embarrassing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone hates you, viewers and people around you.
Yep. I just don't know how like self-aware she is. I feel that I feel like I imagine her watching this right now in her apartment and feeling mortified. I hope.
Yeah, I can't even. Although. She seems so certain, both like so certain of herself and also like completely not certain of herself.
Right.
I'm not sure will really sink in. I mean, I'm sure after the final rose, she'll be like the main topic and whatnot. But,
yes.
I like to give out my own personal final rose of the week every week. And this week it goes to Caroline because I really liked how much she was fighting with Krystal.
Yes.
I'm sad to see her go, though.
Me too.
I would have kept her.
I liked her.
She like really looks like a Caroline to me. I kept forgetting her name. And I was like, yeah, of course, Caroline.
Of course. She is the epitome of Caroline.
She absolutely is.
Yes.
And I also really loved how her and Tia like were just like fast friends and fighting with Krystal together.
I always feel the worst for the girls when like their friend leaves. That's got to be so hard for Tia.
Oh, yeah.
So you got your buddy, the person that you're, crying to or bitching about Krystal with, and then they're gone. And what do you have?
Nothing.
You have a hot tub full of girls you can't relate to.
Yeah. What would be your strategy? Would you try to buddy up with someone who you thought was going to get kicked out or someone that you thought was going to last a long time so you'd have a friend with you?
I think I would have to try to find who's going to be there for a while with me.
Yeah, so you can like have like a connection, someone to talk to about it.
I feel like I would be focused more on that than on the guy. I'd be like, where's my friend? Who's my person that I get to make fun of all these other girls with?
Totally, because you probably do go insane on this show.
Yeah, you have to.
I would really, I think
you're insane before you go on the show.
Yes. To agree to go on, you are insane.
Yes.
And then I'm just an incredibly like neurotic person. So I would just be so anxious all the time. I do this exercise a lot. I just want to say I would never go on the show. But if I did,
yes.
I would definitely be like, yeah, give me those binoculars. I need to see like what they're doing every second of their date, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a great moment this week.
I loved that.
Oh, yeah, that was incredible. And
it's such a weird thing. Like they're all watching someone else with their boyfriend.
Yeah. Like I would either want to know literally every moment of every day of Arie's life for this span of filming or absolutely nothing. And since you probably can't know nothing, I would just go so hard in the other direction.
And speaking of that, remember when Krystal came back? I'm sure the first time she kissed him and she was being all, I'm not going to kiss and tell. I had respect for that. Which is why I started kind of liking her at the beginning, and now I can't stand her. But I was like, you know what? Good for her, because it's obnoxious when these girls come back and talk about the kiss.
Yeah.
But then you realize later, like, oh, she's kind of manipulative. She was probably doing that just to make them all crazy.
She was lording it over them. It wasn't like a genuine, I'm trying to protect you. It was more like I'm trying to win.
I wanted it to be genuine.
I kind of respect the will to win as well.
Yeah.
But I think that if the sound of her voice wasn't so incredibly grating, everyone would like her more.
Yeah, I agree. I also think anytime anyone's like a physical fitness expert, you immediately have isolated half the people because they're like superior physically, and then that's intimidating.
I don't think I would trust her to be my trainer. I don't know. Krystal, she's really rough. She also kept calling everyone juveniles. Like, what happened in your young years that made you so upset about like childish behavior? Also,
I like the thing she's complaining about is the thing she's doing. It's like, oh, these girls are just so desperate for attention. I'm like, what do you think you are?
I know. It was completely absurd. I also like some of them just seem so fun. Like I was like, Kendall, she seems great. She's the one who's into taxidermy.
Yeah. She's a weirdo and I like it.
Me too. I love a great weirdo. So I was like, I need to know more about Kendall. I learned some crazy facts about her. She is a twin and her sister is named, it's just unbelievable.
Splendel.
Kylie.
No.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes, her sister is named Kylie and she is named Kendall. And she's a set decorator and she worked on the Kardashian 10-year like anniversary special.
What?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that wild?
And she told everyone, they're like, I have a twin named Kylie. And they loved it.
And she's like, and she's clearly older than them.
Yeah.
Like, not that much older, but she's older than Kendall.
Right.
So this predates the Kardashians. It's wild.
That's great.
I don't know
I
whether
love
they're
that
playing
you
it
find
up more.
these facts.
Well, thanks. It's part of occupational hazard.
Speaking of set decorating on
Sure.
that show, I feel like the set decorator there got gets that Bed Bath & Beyond coupon and uses it to death.
Yes.
Like the little trinkets around the house and all the set. I'm like, what a job that would be.
Yeah, like kind of like the things that you see as like decor, and like you're like, maybe I should get that to like
Don't.
but then you don't.
Don't get it.
No, it has no personality.
No.
At all. Anything that like you could put a tea light in has no purpose.
Yeah.
So
And it's like the whole thing is like the thing that was like the fanciest thing in your dorm room.
Yeah.
Is all over that house.
You're right. And you had one of those and you were 18. Bekah probably has one like in storage somewhere.
Yeah. And you were so proud of it.
Yeah.
You're like, I spent $17 on a candle lantern yesterday.
There were a lot of aesthetical problems during CN's date, and I want to talk about that. But
yes.
Let's talk about my sponsors first. Let's take a minute to talk about Birchbox. Birchbox is a monthly beauty subscription that sends 5 samples tailored to skin, hair, and style preferences right to your door. It was created for women by women as a better way to shop for beauty. Brands vary from well-known to indie, and each box is personalized based on the recipient's beauty profile, so it's always a unique gift no matter who you give it to. I just got my first Birchbox, and I was really thrilled to come home to it. It had a new kind of shaving cream, some shampoo, a scent I'm excited to try out. It was a great thing awaiting for me after a long day. So if you want to have this experience or give it to someone else, subscribe today and save 20% off a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month subscription or your purchase of $30 or more in the Birchbox shop. Birchbox is regularly $10 a month, but when you sign up for a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month subscription with our code BACHELOR, you will get it for only $8 a month. So go to birchbox.com/bachelor and use the code BACHELOR. Let's also talk about Hotel Tonight. If you've listened to this podcast before, you know that I'm a fan. Fun fact about Hotel Tonight. Unlike flights or other travel, hotel rates actually get cheaper at the last minute. In fact, Hotel Tonight partners with awesome hotels to help them sell their unsold rooms, which means you get amazing deals. All it takes is 10 seconds, just 3 taps and a swipe to book a room. There's no long, endless list of a zillion hotel choices because Hotel Tonight only shows you the best deals at the best hotels. It's perfect for if you're busy or don't want to overthink things. Plus, you can book up to 100 days in advance in top destinations and up to a week in advance everywhere else in case you do have the time to think about it that far out. And with Hotel Tonight's HT Perks program, the more you book, the better the deals get. So, start scoring amazing deals at incredible hotels and download the Hotel Tonight app now. All right, the first date of the week was a one-on-one with CN, and we forgot to say, but they were in South Lake Tahoe, Nevada this week. Mm-hmm. I'm somewhat of a Lake Tahoe elitist, and I think if you're going to Tahoe, you certainly have to go to the California side.
Right.
I'm sorry to everyone in Nevada. I don't mean to offend you, but just in terms of location, locale, and if a national television show with a major network budget is paying for this, why the F are they going to Nevada and not like Truckee or like Squaw Valley? Like, I don't know, like go for luxury, not the Hard Rock in like Nevada.
Yeah, where is the budget going? Because don't you feel like they used to go to such exotic places and now they're not anymore? And I'm sure, with all television, ratings are down, but it's like they're spending that money somewhere. I think it might be on an extra boom for Krystal.
Might be.
So we can pick up her audio maybe. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. You're like, we're going to Tahoe.
Yeah.
And then not the good part. And also kind of in this dumpy communal place.
Yeah. I mean, it was still like pretty beautiful, it seemed like, but the Hard Rock.
That's got to be a sponsorship.
It got to be. It probably was free. It probably cost $0.
Yeah.
Or like $10 is
my
my guess.
Don't you get really uncomfortable when my nightmare, honestly, would be on a date in a restaurant that's completely empty.
Awful.
That's the added pressure. You can't comment on things going on at the other table, and you do on an awkward date.
Totally.
You're like, oh, look at that girl. Oh, look at that guy. There's none of that. There's no music playing.
Yeah, there's no like sound like bleed to give you cover or something like that.
I would if I did that right now with my husband, I would be sweating and uncomfortable.
Yeah, it would be awful. And then you have cameras and lights around you.
Yeah.
So that makes it even worse.
Right.
Like how could you possibly have like an organic experience like that? And it's even weirder when it's in a casino, which is like usually filled with like tons of people.
Yeah.
Like these huge cavernous spaces that are like just meant to make you feel trapped inside.
Yep.
So it would be absolutely awful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I also I was really pissed about what Arie wore for the evening portion of his date with CN. So she's dressed up like a bachelor lady should be, and he is wearing jeans, like a J. Crew button down from like 5 years ago, and a cardigan sweater, and like I don't even know what shoes. Like he looks like everyone I work with on a random Tuesday. Like that's and that's like them like kind of dressed up, I guess. But like Arie, you're on a date, like
right. And these girls are always in like high heels and bandage dresses, and just they put so much effort into it.
The Bachelor keeps Hervé Leger in business.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
I actually noticed that he dresses particularly horribly. His suit for the final
the burgundy shirt, like
the burgundy
Regis
shirt.
Philbin. What are you wearing?
Did he reject a stylist?
Yeah, those shirts should never be allowed on any man, in particular on television. Why are you wearing a burgundy shirt under your suit?
I think burgundy, any kind of shade of green, and if it's like slightly shiny, it's out.
Yeah,
it's got to go.
Let's just stick with white and blue.
White and blue,
maybe a gray.
I'm about to say maybe a gray.
All right, that's it.
That's it.
Let's get the earth tones out of there. They're not on your shirt.
They're also not even good for TV. Like you're supposed to wear like jewel tones or like light colors.
And by the way, if you're trying to hit on a 22-year-old girl, don't look like you can't wear the burgundy shirt that your weird uncle would wear to Christmas.
It was very, very strange. I didn't understand what he was doing.
No.
But I'm just confused about, like, is he ignoring, like, what he's told to do? Like, they have people to tell Arie what to wear.
Yeah, he definitely has, someone pulling things for him to wear.
So this has been a long point of contention for me. But I know that the Bachelor and the Bachelorette get to have a stylist and all the free clothes, and then the contestants have to bring everything with them.
Can you imagine having to pack for that?
No.
I don't like packing for like a weekend in Vegas.
Me
I
neither.
can't imagine. It's a month in Vegas is really like you have to have like the hot outfit you'd wear out every night. And this could be the night where you're with the guy you're going to marry.
Well, they clearly, back to the group date for a second, they clearly didn't have all of the right like clothes. Like did you notice that a lot of the women were wearing like matching jackets?
Yes.
They must have been given those by production.
Yeah.
And then they all had hiking boots, which I assume they also were given by production.
Right.
And then
they're probably like the View jackets, like some ABC show.
I really liked them. They actually looked nice.
They're the View swag.
Yeah, sure. Left
it's the
over.
Grey's Anatomy wrap party gift. They're all wearing it.
It could even be like wardrobe from Grey's Anatomy because when they go on the helicopter, they have to wear like their coats or whatever.
That would be great. Yeah.
So it would be a good opportunity for product placement.
You're
Survivor
right.
does that kind of thing, but
like
they'll like wear like they'll be like, and here are your herbal essence shampoo if you win the shower or whatever. Right. I used to really like that, but I also Krystal was wearing jeans and everyone else was wearing leggings, which I was like, oh, this is just a sign of a bad egg.
Mm-hmm. Like they all had the black pants on.
Yes,
not Krystal.
No, and which is not like necessarily a look. I mean, we live in LA, so it's a look I'm very familiar with at this point.
Right.
I'm like, fine, just do it. Seems comfortable. I get it.
Yeah, but I have to say the pressure of packing for that would just kill me. I couldn't. And then I'd be annoyed. Like if I got voted off earlier than I thought I would be voted. If I got kicked off,
I always say that.
If I wasn't given the rose, I'd be really annoyed. If like my favorite dress, I didn't get to wear my favorite dress. I didn't get because like you have to prioritize your outfits, right? Yeah. You want to put the good ones at the beginning, but then you also don't want it at the end when you're really trying to win them over. You've got like, oh, I've got that one I didn't want to wear.
I think the hardest would be like what you wear when you're not on a date and you're just hanging out in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Because like what's like a good outfit for sitting around on the couch that like makes you look like cool and like laid back, but also like pretty and put together.
Yeah, you're still on TV.
Yeah. I think when they don't go on the dates, they just sit around and they drink all day.
Yeah.
Which is great. Actually,
I love.
The drunkest moment of the week goes to Tia. She like had the hiccups at some point.
Oh, yeah. That was nice.
Yeah.
Maybe
you love her even more.
Yeah, definitely. But back to CN.
Yeah.
She, to me, is way too good for him.
Way too good. So she went to Yale.
Yeah.
She has a legit career.
By the way, that's enough. You go home. Go back home. What are you doing?
What is she doing?
I don't know.
I think the only respectable like reality show, like truly respectable, is Survivor. I'm like, yeah, go on Survivor. Sure. See if you can win $1 million.
Yeah.
Like, go for it.
Right.
You win them over. But what is she doing on this?
I don't know. She should not have a hard time finding a man at all.
My only guess is that she's trying to like launch a bigger real estate career and thinks this will help because she works in real estate.
Oh, right.
Is there any other show that CN could be on, like respectfully?
I feel like she should be a correspondent on CNN.
Oh, interesting. What about The View?
Yeah.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah. I feel like she's smart and like should be used in better ways on television.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more that she could be doing.
Yeah.
She clearly is a good conversationalist because she made Arie like seem actually interesting because she was asking all these questions. Like she was like, tell me about your family. It's how we got the moat story.
Yeah.
She did all of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, she did.
Arie did very little.
Very little.
It was like made me kind of mad.
Uh-huh.
And also they like were making out on the shores of Lake Tahoe and you could like almost see his butt crack.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. I thought he was wearing Ellen underwear.
I paused.
Me too.
And I was like, what's that brand?
Me too. I was like, oh, Ellen is going to be
I couldn't really
psyched.
tell.
No, me neither.
And I was like, is this some weird European brand I've never heard of?
It wasn't a familiar underwear label to me.
Once again, good opportunity for branding.
Branding.
They didn't take up.
No, they didn't.
It just was very strange. But we learned some Arie facts as a result of CN. And from a scale of 1 being acceptable, 10 being terrifying, where do you rank all of these things? First of all, he told us he sees his parents every other day.
Terrifying.
Terrifying, right?
Yep.
That's like, he's 36.
Yeah, no. That's not acceptable.
And an adult like lives an adult life where they're too busy for that.
Yep.
I just think like unless you live together and like some families do that.
Yeah, that's a very weird thing.
That was very.
And I love my parents and I love my husband's parents, but if I had to see them every other day, I don't think I'd love them anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's like part of being an adult in the world. Is
Yeah.
like you're an adult, so you don't see your parents every day until like they're really aged and you have to take care of them. But
Mhm.
I don't think that's the case right now.
No.
Next, this was more visual, but did you notice how he holds his champagne glass by any chance?
No.
He holds it very high on the stem, so it's like almost an anti-beer bottle kind of thing where he's not holding the mouth of it, but he's holding like right where like the stem meets the flute kind of.
Interesting.
It was really weird.
Nothing gets past you. Nothing. I love it.
Thanks. With CN, we really like her, but
she's in the wrong place.
She's in the wrong place, and you can tell Arie's really forcing it based on how many times he had to say both love story and amazing with her, and also really throughout the episode. Let's run it.
You know, the last time I went through this experience, I happened to fall in love, and it was amazing. She's amazing. Just looks amazing. Today was amazing. So many of the women are amazing. Growing up, you didn't see many love stories, and this could be our love story. That love story, this is pretty amazing. Everyone looks amazing. Cheers to an amazing day so far. Sienna deserves the perfect ending to her love story, and she's so amazing. This could be the start of something amazing.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
7 words. That was amazing.
Sian explains that she is doubtful that she can find love on this show, which I think is fair.
She should be. Yeah.
Which is fair. And he clearly is not into her because he has to say it so many times. He hasn't used, that he's into the girls that he says like really creepy things to. Like when he's like yoga pants or like I had to check myself around you. He just gets like kind of like slobbery.
Yeah.
And
he's much more physical and he's actually looking at them, which is a dead giveaway. With the ones he doesn't like, he's kind of always looking over them, even if it's a totally empty restaurant. He's not looking at them. And you can tell where his eyes are.
It was rough. He also probably didn't appreciate the Lenko concert because I did not appreciate it.
What the? I have no idea.
So Lenko, I've learned, is a country music band that happens to have a new record out this week. Go figure.
What?
And
that's crazy.
The lead singer is like, his last name's like Lanchester, so it's like Lenko or something for
isn't
him.
That cute?
It's rough. I mean, I can't think of anything worse than being on a date with a quasi stranger and being serenaded by a band I've never heard of.
That is terrible. And also that these girls have to then feign enthusiasm for the band they've never heard of.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. Like, oh my God, he got Lenko. Because some producer is like, hey, heads up, that is Lenko, and I need you to show some enthusiasm because the record's dropping next week.
Do you have an ideal band for your awkward one-on-one date that you'd like to hear?
Oh my God, no.
Mine would be 98 Degrees, a reunion.
Oh, that would be great.
Nick Lachey would make me feel at ease because he's a host and he's good at that.
Right.
They have got a couple of hits that I just think are like just good for an awkward first date, an awkward one-on-one date, like The Hardest Thing.
Mine would be Sia because she can't see me. She's got a wig over her eyes.
She'd be staring in the corner so
and
she
couldn't watch how uncomfortable I was dancing in front of her and a crowd full of strangers. That's a nightmare to me, to go from your restaurant where no one is and then into this big room of people who don't know you and they're all cheering for you and you're slow dancing with a guy you don't know.
It's so funny because it also doesn't in any way simulate like a real date.
No.
And like even if like this is also like fantastical and like better than real life, it has no connection to reality.
None. But they all reference it like it does. Like that was the best date of my life.
It kind of makes me feel like someone watched the original animated Beauty and the Beast and like how all of like the pots like sing to Beauty and the Beast and it's like really romantic. They're like, oh, we could create something similar.
Perfect.
But in no way is it like that at all.
Not at all.
This week, Chris Harrison was on the show for a total of 108 seconds. That is 1 minute and 48 seconds. And he got to say shock and dismayed when he was telling Arie the girl's reaction to canceling the cocktail party. I don't know if Chris Harrison's ever used those words before.
Shocked and dismayed.
Someone told him to say that.
Do you think he has like a bucket full of words that they're like, try to throw this one in?
Maybe he travels with magnetic poetry.
Yes.
And he just like puts a few together on the front, like his mini fridge. And then he's like, well, I've got my lines now.
Yeah. He's like, I get to say 17 words this week. I'm going to work these two in there.
It's pretty amazing when he, to quote Arie, when he like comes to try to like be like a moral authority of any kind.
I know.
Arie.
What is he doing?
I don't know. So this is his shortest amount of screen time so far this season. But the first, he had like a good 1 minute at the top of the episode to like tell the girls that Arie was already gone. They were going to meet him in South Lake Tahoe.
Oh, right.
It made me realize how much the last few seasons they've really turned those narration duties over to the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. But Arie must be so incompetent that Chris Harrison has to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
Like he can't serve as like a soundboard or whatever. He doesn't give good interview.
Yeah. I just like, what's going on with Chris Harrison in his life? Like, what is his day like?
That's a good question.
It's almost like Heidi Klum in Project Runway, except she gets a little more airtime. But then she gets like nominated for
Do you
Emmys.
still watch that?
Not anymore.
I don't anymore either. My mom watched it, says it's still very good.
That's a great show.
It's a great, great show. Do you watch a lot of reality TV?
No. In fact, I didn't even want to watch The Bachelor, but I work at, Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Sure.
And about 10 years ago, every writer kind of got assigned a reality show to watch, and I got assigned because at the time I was the only woman in the room, and I was like, all right, I'll take The Bachelor. I know none of you guys want to watch it, and I really was doing it, as a favor.
Sure.
And then I got hooked.
It reels you in. So what was your first season?
Oh, God, what was his name? I'm gonna have to look it up.
Okay, no pressure.
Was
it a Brad season?
Yes.
About 10 years ago was Brad's first season.
That's exactly who it was.
Yeah, when he did not pick anyone.
God, you are good. Yeah, that was a real letdown.
It introduced a lot of important tropes that season.
Yeah.
Because he's the most hated man in America, Brad Womack.
Like the most reasonable man in America. Who
absolutely
said, yeah, you know what, maybe I shouldn't get married.
Anyway, back to Chris Harrison. He is putting in work this season, but I also wonder if he is like happy about it because you don't want to fade away.
Yeah.
And the show is becoming sustainable without him.
Yeah, he's got to like the screen time.
Yeah. He
puts on that suit. I mean, let's put it to work.
He also gets to look better than Arie this season because Arie looks so bad.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't even know what to do about that.
No. Someone's got to fix that.
I don't understand. I'm looking forward to more like I try to avoid spoilers. I'm looking forward to like digging in after the season to be like, what are all the beefs that were going on? There's clearly like just Arie is, I don't know, like a moron.
Yeah.
I have so many questions of what it was like to work with him.
Me too.
I want producer tales to start filtering out.
Yeah, me too.
And then
I love that.
Inevitably will not end up with any of these girls. Like, who can we get him to date? Like where does he go from here?
Do we care?
I don't know. Does he go to paradise? Like, is he a part of Winter Games?
I mean, imagine in paradise, you're like, oh, he's the most boring guy in paradise. Right?
I don't know. I could see him.
I feel bad. I'm sure he's a perfectly nice person, but I just feel like I don't have any reason to root for him right now.
Who are you rooting for? Like, who's like your favorite girl?
My favorite girl is Bekah, but I'm not rooting for her because I think she needs to go
live
home
life
and go have a life. I really loved the Jenny Slate looking girl, Bibiana.
Oh, Bibiana. Oh, she does look like Jenny Slate.
Yeah, she looks like Jenny Slate to me.
Oh, yeah, totally. I see that.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
I liked her a lot, too. She's definitely going to paradise.
I love Tia.
I love Tia.
I mean, she is fun.
Would you like her to be the Bachelorette, or do you think she's too good for that?
I'd like her to be the Bachelorette.
I think she'd be good. I think she'd be good, too.
She is like fun girl you'd want to be around all the time. Like, I bet she has like a bottle opener on her keychain.
Definitely.
She's just ready to go.
Yeah, she's like ready to like escalate the party a little bit.
Yeah.
Every party needs a good escalator.
Yeah, and I like her accent. It's really cute.
She looks like a JoJo to me a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like her a lot. I think she's my pick for Bachelorette.
Really?
Well, I don't know who else could really like carry it. Except for her right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. Krystal's clearly not winning. Chelsea the mom not winning either.
Not winning.
You said Bekah's a front runner. I agree.
I'm bored with every Lauren.
I can't tell the difference between any of them.
And they're just like, yeah, I'm bored.
I don't know, like, who is whom.
Me neither.
All of the blondes look alike.
Yes. Oh, Jenna.
Oh, yes, Jenna.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. She hasn't gotten to speak much, but when she shows up, she makes an impact.
I think she's a mannequin.
She might be.
I don't think she's a human. I think she's a well-placed mannequin, and it's like they're gonna see who's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, that was. I also.
But she's the one who like was very aggressive, like straddling him on night one.
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
I think she might have like a lot of Botox or something. There's something going on.
For some reason, I feel like I'm like really into the ones who are the most overtly sexual. I feel like because I'm just sort of like, take the show, make it your own. Bull by the horns. Molly, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Should we plug your show?
You're fantastic. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel Live?
Yes.
Yeah, and the Oscars.
Two
things I'm working on right now.
The Oscars is a tall task.
Oh, is it ever this year?
I really wish you luck on that one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I hope you'll come
having
back.
Me. Absolutely. I loved it.
I'll be back next week with Bachelor Party, and check out the Bachelor Party B-side on Thursday. Thank you for listening.